Megyn Kelly, she's on NBC now. She has a morning show, I think it is. And she was interviewing former white supremacist Christian Picciolini. And she wanted to know if Donald Trump had sent any dog whistles. And I think to a certain extent, she stumbled upon something about her work past that she hadn't fully grappled with as of yet.
Of course, during the 2016 campaign was a question about whether then candidate Trump was not vocal enough in condemning David Duke, which he did do, but that was after he didn't do it, and there was sort of some back and forth. Do you believe that there were dog whistles by our now president to white supremacists?
I do believe that there were dog whistles, but to somebody like me, I can tell you that that's a bullhorn. I heard them loud and clear. When they referred to globalism, I knew that they were talking about the global Jewish conspiracy. When they use terms like the liberal media, those are terms that we used to use, but we used to call it the Jewish media. They've learned to massage their language to make it more palatable.
Can I just say, I mean, having worked at Fox News for 13 years, we used to criticize the MSM, some would call them the liberal media, and it didn't mean that. It meant, left-leaning or people who were not open-minded to, the views of half the country, conservative people.
That's also the power of their marketing and how they can take words that are hateful and massage them to get them into the lexicon to make it normalized.
So you pick something that is okay, a term that is that has nothing to do with white supremacy, and you adopt it.
Right.
And to your people, it has a very different meaning.
Absolutely.
Like with a wink and a nod.
To the people that I was involved with, 30 years ago, that is a high five.
Hey, what happened?
I wonder if she had a moment of like, oh, so I was unwittingly, basically trolling for white supremacists to watch me on Fox. Who could have possibly imagined that?
Good for the numbers.
I'm absolutely shocked because the 9 p.m. guy had multiple sit-downs on his radio show with white supremacists back in the day. I had no idea we were courting white supremacists all this time.
Or like I built essentially my entire broadcasting career off of a endless loop of a just like beyond nothing story about new Black Panthers blocking white voters. I did I
did crack the story about how Jesus and Santa Claus were white, not black.
And it would be upsetting if my kids heard otherwise. But
yes.
What I like there,
Black Santa Claus.
I like how he just more subtly reiterated the same point. And it was essentially like, yes, it's an accomplishment that you guys normalize that language for them. And she's like, yeah, right. Yeah, and what does she mean by also like not open to people that aren't open to Nazism?
I love how she says, this is the way that it was received, as if like we had no participation in that. We, as a broadcaster, we have no responsibility to understand the etymology of or the usage of the words that we're using.
I'm just bringing it fair and balanced.
What's that?
Fair and balanced.
Yeah,
Fox
well, that's
News.
the way you bring it in that way.
I always just have to say, or fair and balanced. There are good people on both sides, but I also would say that I played this on my show a couple weeks ago, and I'm sure we've played it on this show. But everybody should always go back. There's a piece of sound of Lee Atwater from the '80s where he explains. In the '60s, we said, nigger. In the '70s, we said busing. Now we say taxes.
Yeah.
It's all racism.
It's all
no,
coded.
but he's literally saying it himself. This is not liberals interpreting it.
No.
He goes.
He
said we used to use the slur,
like on his
but
deathbed, I think he was actually.
I think so. He's like, we used to use the slur, but now it doesn't sound bad. So now things like taxes are still a stand-in for beat up on black people.
Right, because the idea is that your tax dollars are going to be spent on black people.
And that's Fox News. I mean, that's essentially all Fox News editorial policy. I just think it's so gross that Megyn Kelly, thank God she's at least been unsuccessful in this crossover.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos